Big Blue Thumb Productions presents the Podlie Podcast. Here's your hosts, Podlie Bill, Podlie Cliff, and Podlie Paul.
And hello, everybody. Here we are. It is Epi 192.
And I'm yawning as soon as we get on
As
air.
soon as you get on.
And
What kind of a cheap system is that?
Mike is up first. He wins 3,500 points. Now, Mike says, howdy, gents, have a great show. Now, are you saying that because you're coming on and leaving?
¿Por qué?
Or are you just saying have a great show?
There you go. Hi, Mike.
William Kirkland,
2,500 points. And,
And-
sorry, William.
Oh, yeah. And Nicole, 1,500 points.
Look at that. Just like so.
That was easy.
And a partridge in a pear tree.
Have you
partridge
ever been able to
in a
win points so easy? It's not like you're buying tickets for a lottery. It's
I-
not like you're going
know.
to Vegas to play
I
the
know.
slot
I know.
machine.
You just show up.
You just, if you show up at the beginning, you win points.
Do you gamble? Are you putting any money in the slots?
No.
In Vegas?
Yeah.
No, I don't.
No.
Sometimes maybe they'll play a slot machine a little bit. That's about it. I
I
don't.
should give you $20.
I don't play any of the tabletop games or, I don't. Sometimes if I'm walking through a casino and it looks like the table's real busy and you're hearing the cheering and somebody's, I might stop to watch
Watch.
because if somebody's winning big, I just want to see what they're
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
winning.
Yeah.
Or if they're winning big and then they lose it all. I like to. Sometimes kind of fun to watch
Wow.
that too.
Coming from
Just to
somebody
look
who
on
deals
those
those games,
places,
that's
yeah.
really, it can be done in one.
Doesn't take.
swoop.
It doesn't make much. All right. Mike says saying you have a great show. Thanks, Mike. We're hoping we'll have a great show.
Thanks, Mr. Mike.
192.
Mike, our show is only as good as you being on it, Mike.
Yeah.
He's
There
lying.
you
It's
go.
not true.
There you go.
It's worse.
Yeah. Can you believe now that the countdown is on? We're only 8 shows away from 200.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Cooler shows.
We don't know when that date's going to be yet.
Could be 10 years from now. We don't know.
That's right. We
That's
said
probably true.
it's definitely going to be in 2025 sometime.
That's
We just don't know when.
200 hours of honest to goodness gratuitous nothingness.
Yeah.
Gratuitous nothingness even.
Gratuitous.
Okay, I can't stop yawning. Somebody do something.
Yeah. Stop.
John, do
Stop
it.
yawning.
Do it. Somebody do
Yeah.
something.
People are slowly still joining us here tonight on this Monday night. We made it through. We had some snow. Just a bit of snow. Got a little bit cold.
I still have a shovel.
Cool.
Now it's supposed to get warm.
That's because you don't have that stand around.
Leslie Ann, will she come and show your driveway?
She done all of it. She
If you
shoveled.
hydrate, keep her hydrated.
Keep
while
her
she do it.
hydrated. She shovels.
Is that true?
It's
I'll give her my address.
Yeah.
100% true. She shoveled. I have not lifted a shovel of snow this year yet. She likes to shovel snow, and she goes out there and she shovels snow.
Right.
And sometimes I tease her. I'm like, "Would you just stop already?" Like, I'm going to do it after work. I come home after work. It's done.
Oh, nice.
Or she takes Doggy out there, and Doggy walks around with her to shovel, and he walks back with her.
Does she cut the grass too?
Yep.
Summers? Cut the grass in the summers
Go
and shovel the.
I don't have grass
Wow.
to cut here on the
Wow.
acreage, but Chai and I have shoveled the sidewalk front recently, and
Yeah.
then after we had the big snowfall, I went out and shoveled because our neighbors came over yesterday for a short time.
Nice.
So I was out there and shoveled that. But our neighbor, as soon as it snows heavy,
He brings the tractor
I'll get a
out.
flash on my camera, and he's out there on the tractor
Is that true? Eh?
doing the
Lucky, yeah.
driveway and stuff.
Yeah.
So
My wife and I have no gender roles. I mean, I cook, I do dishes,
I do all the
whatever.
cooking.
Nice.
Same thing for us. I do all the
Yeah,
cooking.
there's
and,
no gender
yeah.
roles. And then I mean, if the snow piles up and I'm there, I'll go do it. Most times she likes to shovel snow, so often she'll do most of it. I think if I were to be accurate, I think she would probably do more than I do as far as shoveling snow goes.
Would you say, and this is just a question, I don't know, I'm asking a question. Would you say that generally most households do not adhere to gender roles anymore?
I don't know. No, I wouldn't actually. I wouldn't.
What would you say? Would you say that most households do not
I
adhere
say
to gender
I
roles,
think
or
most
do?
all households have a real mix now.
I think
I agree.
I don't know. I actually would, given my quote unquote circle,
Mhm.
I would beg to differ. I would say the gender roles are still quite prevalent.
Mhm.
Interesting.
I think they're quite prevalent. I don't know now. Obviously, I think they're less prevalent than they were, let's say, 20 years ago,
20 years ago. Yep.
30 years ago. But I think they're still quite prevalent. As in, I don't see too many guys out there sitting around on a lawn chair drinking a beer while the wife is working on the truck.
Mhm.
I don't see it.
And
I
to
see a
your-
lot of it. I see a lot of it where the wife is out there sitting on a lawn chair having drinks with the girlfriends, and the guys are working on the truck, right? to date, I still see, if I'm at a barbecue, I still see the man cooking on the barbecue.
And to your point, in the grocery store, I still see more women.
I still see more women,
still see
even
more
though
women.
I'm the guy that
Yeah.
does all of the
Yeah.
grocery shopping. He
Yeah.
very rarely does Leslie do grocery
Yeah.
shopping. I do all of it.
I have a tendency to agree with you too, Cliff,
And yet I see mostly women doing the grocery shopping. So in terms of that, I don't know. In my mind, I think gender roles are still quite prevalent. Maybe, like as I said, maybe not as prevalent as they were, 20 years ago.
Like I say, for me, I think it's quite a mix now.
Quite a mix.
So
now,
you're
yeah.
seeing, like you just said, you might see a percentage that still, the women are doing all the cooking, and the gentleman comes home and his dinner's ready, kind of thing.
Yeah.
I know quite a few guys and families where the guys are the cooks, and like I do the same thing. I go buy the groceries. Weekend, I'm going out and buying the groceries, right?
And honestly, Bill, I don't mean so much that you come home like the woman stays home, the guy comes home and the food's ready. I don't mean that so much. I mean, as a sort of a general practice,
just overall.
I think, like I said, I would be hard pressed to find any of my neighbors. I got people around me where where the wife is working on the truck and or the bike, and the husband's sitting around drinking beers and chatting or whatever. Like, it doesn't, you know what I mean? So those sort of roles, even in my neighborhood, I would guess that when Leslie Ann's out there cutting the grass, I think my neighbor to my left is very much like that. She's always out there cutting the grass as well. And Mike's a big construction guy, so he's capable and ready to do absolutely everything when it comes to that sort of stuff. Unlike me, and yet, out there most of the time, his wife is chopping the grass. And same thing with Leslie Ann. Most of the time, she's out there cutting the grass. So, and it works that way, right? Because I'll come home in the evening, or we come home in the evening from work, and I'm like, "What are we having for supper?"
Yep.
And she says, "Well, I'll go cut the grass. You make supper."
And that was going to be my next question, you guys. My next question was, why do you think? Because I agree with you, Cliff. I think the gender roles are still quite prevalent in the average household, and I want to know. I'd be curious to know why they're still quite prevalent. I think it's work schedules. It's got to be.
Well, part of it's work schedules, Podlie, but actually, there's some serious studies been done in the last little number of years. People thought. And we can point to that. This is not just bullshit yapping. There's actual studies been done, serious studies been done that we thought that as our society became more egalitarian, meaning more equal everywhere around, and more free for everybody to do whatever they pleased. Women can pursue whatever they want, and guys can be nurses if they want to, and nobody frowns on it. Believe it or not, as societies have become more and more egalitarian, gender roles have become more and more prominent. What's funny is that it's literally counterintuitive to what everybody thought. Right? So if you look at currently in the more quote advanced, I don't believe that, but I'm saying it for the sake of a point.
Right.
In the more advanced egalitarian societies such as Denmark and Sweden and all these places, where they went ultra egalitarian, which is a great thing, by the way. I'm a huge advocate of that. But as the society grew more and more egalitarian, the gender roles became more and more pronounced. More women were pursuing nursing. More women were pursuing care jobs. More guys were pursuing STEM professions. And that's because in an egalitarian society, people are free to do what draws them.
Yeah.
And as it turns out, regardless of who wants to believe what they wish to believe as far as gender preferences go,
that's what they gravitate
most
towards.
Women gravitate toward people and care. Most guys gravitate towards things. Right? Hence, most guys go into the STEM or construction or cars or mechanic. I'm not saying this as a general rule, and I'm not saying everybody. I'm saying most.
I think gender roles come there. People come by gender roles honestly. I agree with
and
you.
As the societies get more and more egalitarian, these become more and more pronounced, which nobody expected. Nobody expected that. Right?
Yep. I have a tendency to agree with you.
Say quick hi to Marvin. And Marvin says, our gender roles are traditional in my home because that works the best for the things we love.
There you go, my friend.
Based on schedule,
based on everything else.
And based on what you enjoy, quite frankly, doing. I agree.
And you see, Marvin, like in my household, there are quite a bit like gender, quote unquote, gender roles. I mean, but the fact of the matter is, I happen to love cooking. I happen to be good at it. And my wife has a few signature dishes which she's really good at, but she does not even like cooking. And she'd much rather come in the kitchen, have a glass of wine, help me with dishes, torture me a little bit,
Stay
blah, blah,
hydrated.
blah, stay hydrated.
Yeah.
And I do the cooking and she'll do some prep work and so on and so forth. She enjoys that much better than actually doing the cooking. So if in my household, if the grass needed to be cut or the snow needed to be moved and the food needed to be cooked and grocery shopping needed to be done, I could ask her 100 times, and out of all those 100 times, it's probably 100%. She'll say, "I'll do the snow, you do the grocery and the cooking." There was a point in time where Leslie wouldn't even step foot in the grocery store. She absolutely hated it. Now it's better.
What's the reason for that?
She just doesn't like it.
Just doesn't like going up and down.
And she didn't like being like crammed and jammed and all that sort of stuff. And she didn't like, you know, she didn't like it at all. So I'm like, no, that's the problem. I like it. And you know what's funny? I always torture her nowadays, right? If I tell her, hey, Leslie, and you know, if you're coming home, could you stop at the grocery store and get one bundle of celery, one bundle of parsley, and some carrots? She'll come home with one bundle of celery, one bundle of parsley, and carrots, and that's it. She sends me, you know, for bread. I'll come back with $44 of fruit and ice cream and no bread.
14 different types of salt.
Correct. But I won't come home. So you could see that people gravitate towards what they gravitate to, right?
Yeah.
So it's just the way
we do the same thing here. You know, I'll be making dinner and Chai will go do the sidewalk. He's shoveling. Or when we lived in our previous house where we did have grass to cut, she'd go out and cut the grass, and I would be doing something else.
Was that something that you as a family unit talked about, or did you just
happen? It just happened. Yeah, for us too. Okay. We didn't sit down and say, okay, what do you like to do and what do I like to do? It just kind of flowed that direction.
Yeah, and part of it's never been where, like, let's say the dishes are piling up and I say to her, Leslie, would Dan will do the dishes, please, whatever. It's never like that. If the dishes are piling up and I wanted to see a clean kitchen counter, well, Dan will do the dishes. Right?
100%.
And if the grass is getting tall and I was available that evening, then I'll cut it, etc. And then I'll phone her on the way home from work and say, can you pick up some takeout because I'm busy.
I'm busy and I'm
right. And then you know what she'll say? She'll say, well, I can be home in half an hour and cut the grass and you can do the cooking. And I'm like, oh, well, home food's better.
It is better than the
ding,
takeout.
ding, ding. That's a no-brainer.
Right.
That's
so it's always been that, like, it sounds so highfalutin to say if we see a problem, we solve it. We don't mean it that way. We're lazy as hell often, just like everybody else. But I've never once said to her, damn it, woman, the kitchen counter is filthy. Why don't you go do some dishes? And she's never said to me, damn it, Mr. Smith, the damn car needs oil changing. Why don't you go change the oil? It's never been like that, right?
Yeah.
Very interesting. Yeah, very interesting.
Yeah, no, we're the same way.
Nicole says we all have odd jobs in our house.
Well, I have some even ones too.
No. Nicole, my question is the odd jobs that you have in your house, do you have those same odd jobs? Or do you guys switch up? 1 week you do one job, the next week you do the different odd job, the third week. I'm just curious. I'm just curious. Yeah. It's been me for 8 years. And my, now kids who can do a whole lot better. So I mean, I don't know.
I mean, she says though that they all have odd jobs in the house. I mean, then who does the even jobs?
That's right.
I'd be really curious to know.
Yeah, and what day do they do?
And what day do they? I mean, do they do the even jobs on the odd days? I don't know.
That's a good question. And she says, however, it's the boys that mow the lawn and shovel, and because her arms are toast.
There you go. Yeah, and I mean,
but
and
that's
I think,
just by virtue of physicality.
And I think that's where that harkens back to what Marvin said, right? He says the gender roles in his house are this way because that's what works for them. Well, the gender roles in my house is because that's what works for me.
Works for us.
And I think in that way, Podlie, I think, and to Bill's point earlier on, saying it's all a mixture now, I think in to that point, I think Bill has a point because we're not so rigid about it anymore. No. And again, it's
not like the 1950s and where the woman was expected to be in the kitchen,
and the man
was expected to be out earning the wage, coming home,
drinking
on the table,
drinking martinis and smoking.
Well, he waited
and smoking a cigar. That's exactly right.
It's not Mad Men era.
With the newspaper.
With the newspaper. That's right. Yeah, and the little lady all dressed up and in high heels and a skirt to meet her man at the door. Yeah, those days are. Yeah,
it was funny. I accidentally was watching YouTube and came across this video actually of Disney. That was a home video shot by a gentleman in the 1950s. And it was funny watching people going to Disney in the 50s and seeing the ladies wearing the dresses and the high heels. They're going out to a highfalutin place. They're going to Disney.
Yeah, they're going to Disneyland.
Oh, yeah.
They're
Oh,
all
yeah.
dressed up. Like
Yeah.
they're,
Oh, yeah.
You know.
Men in their hats and
Yeah.
and everything. Go ahead.
Sorry,
Go
Paul.
ahead.
I was just gonna say though, there's something to be said and I'll probably get some flack for this, or if nobody wants to talk to my face about it, maybe they'll just think ill of me. I don't know. But one of the things that in my mind, I think we've lost in some way is that we don't dress up enough these days. It used to be that to go on a plane, right? You would actually dress well for the trip, and it was an adventure.
Yes.
And you get on the plane and you're dressed really well, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
I think the last time I flew, I saw 2 girls literally come on the plane in their pajamas.
Oh, I see that all the time.
And you see it all the time.
That's how
You
I
fly
fly.
quite a
That's
bit.
how I
see-
fly.
see it
Yeah,
all the
but see,
time now.
that to me,
At least you have clothes on.
in
That's
my
true.
in my mind, I think, and I don't mean this personally or nothing there, Polly, but in my mind, that seems to be a downgrade in so many ways. It used to be that people took care of their appearance. And they looked after their
Mhm.
appearance before they go out in public. And for certain events, such as, for instance, flying somewhere, they would
Mhm.
dress. Or if you go to church, I
Mhm.
mean, if you when I was a kid and going to church,
You got
we
dressed
were
up.
always dressed up. We were always dressed up. If I walked into church with jeans, even with jeans and a t-shirt, like a nice looking t-shirt, when I was young enough, before my dad passed away, when I was young enough, I would have never gotten away with that.
Mhm.
Okay, he'd have been foot down. My mom, no kidding, this would have been her. What, Cliff? You couldn't have dressed up a little bit?
Mhm.
That's what my mom would have said. And I'd be like, yes, Mom, I'll go change.
Mhm.
Right? But that was what we did. And in my mind, think ill of me, if you will, but I think that's a downgrade in society. I think it was a good thing for us to be somewhat proud of the way we look when we left the house, like being kempt versus unkempt.
Mhm.
And certain occasions, perhaps, let's say at church or whatever the case may be, perhaps it was a good thing that we dressed up. Parent-teacher
Yeah.
interviews. I would never go,
True.
right?
True, but things have also changed now, and I'm going to use the church notwithstanding,
Yep.
because I agree with you on the church part.
Okay.
Well, we weren't forced so much to dress up. We just had to get up and go,
Right.
quite frankly. But at the same time, flying. People don't dress up to. I am the first to admit I am in my pajamas and flip flops when I fly. I don't care. I don't care if it's Alaska or Jamaica. I'm in my pajamas
Yeah.
and flip flops. And the reason for that, I think, flying, it's not a luxury thing anymore. People do it every day, all day.
I know, but that is the downgrade in my mind.
Mhm.
People didn't need to do it back then. It was a luxury. They wanted to do it back then, and because they wanted to do it, it was the whole facade of flying back in the 50s was, wow, I've got so much money. Oh my gosh, look at me. I'm one of
Okay, that's one way to interpret it, but I don't necessarily interpret it that way, though, Paul.
Okay.
Okay, and I'm sure that there were some people that went that, oh yeah, look at me, I'm
Mhm.
so important, I
Mhm.
fly.
Mhm.
But the first time I flew, well, actually not the first time, probably the third time I flew, when I flew by myself,
Mhm.
I took great care in getting myself ready.
You
And,
did
and,
it.
and everything else,
Yeah.
and I enjoyed the flight. I treated it as, and back then it was a luxury,
Mhm.
something interesting to do.
Mhm.
I think now air travel has become just transportation. And I think that's a downgrade.
Mhm.
I think that if the air industry kept it as a not a classy, I don't mean classy as in highfalutin, but I mean as an adventurous thing to do,
Mhm.
where you say, hey, listen, you get met at the door, you get ushered to your seat, yada yada yada. But what has happened? The profits motivation has boiled it down to, you get this seat, you get one package of peanuts, and you get one pop, or you get one drink, blah blah blah, with your ticket. And they themselves have downgraded the service. And consequently, I think, honestly, people are, well, now it's just transportation. Now it's not
Well,
something interesting.
And Nicole makes an interesting point. Pan Am. If you remember the Pan Am
Oh,
airlines
yeah.
back in the 50s,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
everybody dressed up.
Everybody dressed up.
Your flight attendants, pilots, everybody was dressed to the nines. And if you ever saw pictures of people on a Pan Am plane, they're always in suits and
Right.
and the gentlemen all dressed very nicely.
All
the
dressed up.
ladies very nicely.
And now it's
Uh,
like you go to the airport and it's so different, right? And even and stewardesses, and I mean, there were no stewards back then, whatever. I'm not trying to be gender or whatever you call it, but all the stewardesses, they all dressed well, all in a good, in a nice uniform, like a crisp white shirt and a blue skirt or something. And there was something, I don't know how to explain it. That, you know, there was something somewhat elevated about it. And I'm not talking about the snooty part of it. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking that there was something elevated about it, that it was an adventure.
Well, it was a higher
But it
level of
wasn't as
transportation.
accessible then as it is now.
Okay, but why should that diminish
Well, I'm
the
not saying
adventure?
it should, but I think that's a contributing factor.
No, I agree with you
Absolutely.
100%. I just wish it wasn't a contributing factor to
Yes.
to it being a diminished experience.
Yes.
I think we should
Yes.
be working very hard in life to, and I've talked to many friends about this, and I don't know. I tell you what, you know, some time ago I went and picked up my friend Aaron. I wish he'd listened to this podcast. He's a very interesting guy, but I remember one time I went and picked him up, and he was a little bit drunk, and I picked him and his a couple of girls with him, and I said, "Don't worry, I'll come pick you up." And I pulled up to the apartment. He was upstairs, and I phoned him on the phone. I said, "Aaron, baby, your chariot's awaits, my friend. Come on down, right?" And he come down. He gave me a big hug, and he said, "You know, Cliff, there's one thing about you that I like. You always up the honor system of every engagement, every experience to you. You always up the honor system in it." And now I didn't mean anything by that. I meant, "Hey, Aaron, time to come, buddy. Your chariot awaits. Come on, right?" But to him, it was that I upped the adventure level of it just by that attitude. And I think, honestly, every moment in life that we only have so many. Life is very short. I don't think we should diminish the moments. I don't think we should diminish travel moments. I don't think we should diminish. I have fun in my little Civic. I always joke that it's a Civic, it's a standard, and it's got winter tires. I mean, there's not a lot of fun you can have on a winter road.
That's true. That's right.
But yeah, you try to, I don't know, there's something about upping the experience in my mind, I think, which is a good thing.
Yeah, well,
if that
again,
makes sense.
Say it used to be even train travel back then,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Was a
Oh,
luxury
yeah.
item.
Right.
So everybody
Right.
would get, dressed
Well,
up to travel.
in
on the
Canada,
train.
train travel still is luxury. Jesus, have you seen those
It's-
prices?
Prices
They
are
are
crazy.
unreal.
It's not cheap.
Unreal.
Yeah.
Amy says, I think that it never hurts to take a little extra pride in your appearance and put in a little extra effort. Whether you're going to work, going out to get groceries, or even traveling. I mean, for traveling, you can still dress for comfort while looking good. 100%.
Do you know, Amy? I agree with you 100%. I think that's a comment very much in line with what I'm thinking. I mean, even when I go to work and I wear jeans on a Friday or something like that, the jeans are never crumply and ugly. They're always, relatively like pressed or whatever you call it. They're not. I mean, I don't iron them, but I make sure that they're not
Full of
crumply.
wrinkles and
Yeah,
all
full of
that,
wrinkles,
yeah.
whatnot. And I mean, this is as casual a shirt as you can get, but you'll notice there's no wrinkles. I took an iron on it.
I'm gonna make a comment. I recognize y'all are gonna lambaste me for it, and I should, and I recognize that I should be lambasted for this. I am wearing my tuxedo. Okay.
Depeche.
Here's my point. My point is, I don't have anybody to dress up for.
You have you to dress up for, Podlie.
There you go. Okay. Now, guys, feel free to lambaste me, but this is how I feel. I feel like, what do I need to dress up for?
Okay, Paul.
What do I need to iron my pants for?
But
Go ahead.
You have events.
Go ahead.
You have
Kick
events.
my ass on this.
You have events that you
Well,
go
work
to.
notwithstanding, though, brother. Work notwithstanding.
But
You know.
yeah,
I am that Walmart guy.
Yeah.
Like I am that. Well, I am that
But Paul,
pajamas and.
Okay, so let me ask you this though. What do you think? Okay, first of all, and you can lambaste me for this if you like. Fact of the matter is, we put ourselves out there, and those who interact with us respond to us in tune and in line.
Correct.
By reflecting to us what they see.
Correct.
So.
sorry, kind of reflect.
No problem. What Amy says, it doesn't matter whether you somebody to dress up for or you don't, because you never know who you got. Hey, 100%, Amy, 100%. And you know what the rule is? If you dress like shit, you know what? You're gonna probably meet the person you have a crush on.
If you dress like shit, you're either going to attract shit or you're going to meet a supermodel. That's exactly right.
And Paulie, that's actually my kind of point to that. I think that. And this is true, not exactly, but just my point. I think when you dress well and you stand up, instead of standing like this, you stand up like this and you stand up straight. It doesn't matter how tall or short you are. I think it changes what you put out into the world. And I think if you look, I'm not talking tuxedo. I'm saying if you look put together and well cared for, I think a person says, not consciously, I think a person sees a person that looks after themselves and says, in their mind, unconsciously they say, well, if he looks after himself, he obviously cares about things. And then therefore he might be a caring person to me. Maybe he'll look after me. Now that's a stretch. I don't mean that literally.
But you are 100%
I mean that
correct.
subconsciously,
You're
that when I look
100%
at somebody who's well kept and looked after, I think to myself, that person cares about things. And he cares about life, or she cares about life, right?
And I recognize that this is my mental block.
Yeah.
This is a mental block.
Yeah.
I'm fully aware that this is a mental block.
And in my mind, that's something anybody can do, right? I even wrote a little paragraph some years ago that surprised me. I wrote about this one character that I was just messing around with. And one of the things, I don't know, kept on coming to me is that, she was out in the garden and she was working, and then she was trying to fix her truck and got oil on her hands and blah, blah, blah. But then at the end of the night, she has a shower, she has a bath, blah, 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 meticulously cleans her nails and repolishes them and puts paint and puts nail polish on them. And for some reason, I kept on going back to that and I couldn't understand why.
Yeah.
And it was about the little things. If you care about the little things, you're going to care about the big things. And we all need care. We all want to be cared for in some way.
And I don't, like I said, I fly quite a bit now, and I don't get over it. I wear jeans and either a nice sweater or shirt.
Yeah, but you're always put together though.
I don't. Yeah, I don't. Not that. I don't do the pajama thing. And like I said, because I'm flying so much now, I see that all the time. I see the people get on that look like they just roll out of bed in the morning, and they're crawling on the plane. I'm sure I have an early flight on Saturday morning, so I'm sure I'm going to see those people that are going to climb on the plane in the morning. But that's And
I mean, you see guys in and again, right, in in the gray flannel sweatpants and Crocs and whatnot. I don't know. I tend to have very little respect for these people, and I know that's reading a book by its cover. I get that. So I don't pride myself on that feeling. But the fact of the matter is, it seems to me that I don't know. I mean, I'm dressed in what, in a $20 pair of pants and a t-shirt and a shirt. But I mean, you're talking about wearing jeans or whatever. But it's how you put it, how you put together, right? I mean, I don't know. Like I don't know how to explain what I mean, but
yeah. No, but I think we kind of get the point. And you're right. Like you said, it'll be the one day where you dress way down, that you run into somebody that
you meet your
maybe you haven't seen in 5 years, and they come and they're all kind of dressed up, and
you see your ex-girlfriend
and they're going,
or ex-boyfriend,
ex-girlfriend or boyfriend with their brand new shiny spouse, right? Happy shiny people. REM song, Happy Shiny People. So we probably missed some of the comments.
I'll put it back up here, kind of where we were. So Mike made the comment about your flip-flops. It's hard to run.
You are not okay. So your point is taken. I'm not a flip-flop guy, Mike. But your point is taken. Your point is absolutely taken. I've done airport trips where I've had 2 hours in between flights. I've had to go through customs, and so your point is taken. That does not work. That does not work.
There was a couple back here that went back to Nicole. Dude, that's too much to keep organized. If dishes need doing, people sometimes take the initiative to get them done.
Perfect. Yeah.
And she made this comment too. No longer is it a pink job?
Agreed.
Or a blue job?
Agreed. Yep.
100%.
Yep. Agreed.
100%.
And I love that. I love that about society now. Do you know what I mean?
By the way, okay, but in fairness, I got to tell you, my wife and I, we do have one very rigid and specific gender, 2 jobs that are very gender oriented. Like, for instance, everything to do with the time in the house, like all the clocks and everything else, including my watch, it's all women's work. She has to set the time.
It's 2 friggin' times a year,
no,
dude.
It doesn't matter.
Everything's digital now.
It's 2 times a year.
It doesn't matter. That's her job. She has to fix the clocks. The clocks always have to be right. Even my watch, if it runs out of battery, she takes it to the thing and everything else. And that is a hard line, gender specific role. And my hard line, and for the men, like for me, it's the remote.
You take care of the remote?
I have to take care of the remote. I have to take care of
the remote. What do you mean? Putting fresh batteries in it?
No. She can go, hey, change the channel.
It doesn't matter. So it doesn't matter if you're in the room or not.
It doesn't matter.
Oh, I got it.
So if she's in the room, she'll just call, Cliff, I need you to come change the channel.
The remote could be there, and she'll go, Garçon.
Yeah. On the other hand, she's like this. And can you fill
the whiskey, please? Yeah. So those are specific, very hard and fast gender roles in my house.
I love it.
Yeah. But other than that, there's no pink and no blue job.
That's awesome. That's awesome. very interesting because it's been so long since I've had a woman in the house that I just, not that I don't remember, I just don't remember how it works, if it works.
Yeah.
How does it work? How
Podlie,
does the conversation happen?
I think the bottom line is I think it has to be a very organic setup where, see, I want the people I love to have good food.
Mhm.
Okay, so for example,
That's your love language, brother.
so then what I will do is I will go out of my way to
Mhm.
make the best food, even if it's mac and cheese. But I will go out of my way. I will take the extra time. I'll warm up the milk before I put the cheese in. Whatever little tricks you do, I will do all of that, even if it's mac and cheese. That takes 11 minutes to make. It'll take me 20 minutes to make, but it'll be as good as it can get. Now, am I saying it's going to be brilliant? I don't know, but I've taken the best care I can to do it. So in my mind, if both people in a relationship have that attitude, you cannot help but then look after each other, because in looking after each other, you're looking after yourself. In looking after yourself, you're looking after each other. Right?
Yes, and around.
So that's what I mean, round and round, right?
Yeah.
So,
And Jeremy, you made the comment, but ask Cliffy who cooks. So Jeremy, you're a little bit late coming in tonight,
right.
so you kind of missed that. We have had that discussion already. So I'm not throwing you under the bus, but you're a little bit late coming in.
Yeah, and so therefore, Jeremy, I will tell you, good evening, Jeremy Schultz, and the rest of the ladies and gentlemen of the podcast.
By the way, it's a time.
And welcome to the middle of the podcast. And thanks for that vote there, Jeremy, about the food. I appreciate that. You can say the same thing for you. Jeremy's a good cook. He does a lot of the cooking in his family as well.
Which, by the way, we still have not had your meatloaf.
What?
Oh, that was so funny. Oh, I felt so. We felt bad. We felt bad.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know,
Bill? We felt bad.
For those of you who don't know, I actually kind of blame Nicole, to be honest with you, because what happened? That's what I did. I just said the middle of the podcast, Nicole. Jeez.
Yeah. Well, and he's
You guys, Jeremy. So, for those of you who don't know, on 100 podcasts, we did a 24-hour marathon, right? And we were all bringing food. Well, when we started, Bill and I are setting up, and buddy Podlie over here is eating a sandwich the size of freaking Oregon. It was like this big.
is a huge, like 20.
And he's sitting there, he's like,
I forgot about that.
and he's sitting there like,
It was a 10-footer, I think.
I
know.
forgot about that.
So anyway, but I brought a beautiful, freshly out of the oven meatloaf. And because it was a 24-hour marathon, I thought, oh, well, we'll have some food, blah, blah. But then what happened is, people started bringing us coffee and bringing us snacks, and then Nicole came.
Yeah, started making food and dips.
And of course, she's an Epicure representative, and she came and she started making dips and blah blah blah, and all of a sudden we had all this food. And come the end of the 24 hours, when we're cleaning up, we noticed that we hadn't even opened the meatloaf.
And I was not hungry at the end of that podcast.
We were not, because
I
we
was
ate so
not
much
hungry.
food.
If you don't, if you remember this as well, and by the way, hi Laura, it's nice of you to show up past the middle of the podcast.
Hi, Laura.
But anyway, he brought a whole box of pizza pops,
Pizza
which
pops.
we never
We
touched.
never touched the pizza pops.
Yeah, you nerds. What the
He
hell?
came with a whole box of pizza pops for the
Pizza pops.
24 hours.
That's right.
We could have eaten one an hour.
That's
actually.
right. But Nicole came and made the best food, man. I tell her, and William came and yeah, we cooked up and had some good food. And then people brought us coffees in the morning. And I had a nice, big, long, heavy debate with some dude, etc. And by the way, hi, Andrea. Nice to see you.
Andrea. She's
So-
prepping lunches for tomorrow.
Long story short, we never had your lasagna.
Never had the meatloaf.
The meatloaf. Sorry, the meatloaf.
He can't even
The meatloaf.
remember
See, I
what
can't even remember what the hell it was.
And by the way,
Meatloaf.
Andrea, if you're prepping lunches for tomorrow, I wouldn't mind a BLT. Thanks. If you can put that together.
And Jeremy says, "Hey, sexy lady, how you doing?" Of course, I think he means Andrea, not any of us.
Dude, be careful. Your wife's on the same podcast. Be careful. Your wife's watching too.
Unless for some reason he thinks we're sexy ladies.
Hey, I'm too sexy for this podcast. Yeah. And by the way, if anybody here, I don't know why the hell that would be the case, but if anybody is trying to get a hold of me on my phone, I don't have my
He
phone.
doesn't have my phone.
It's in the bloody car.
And you know, Leslie Ann, if you happen to be tuned in, I don't know, maybe you have your practice tonight or rehearsal.
Yeah,
but-
no, she's not tuned in tonight.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you were tuned in, you have my number. You can text me, you know, any issues that you might have.
Any
regarding
rehydration issues you may have.
Yeah, rehydration issues, or anything. You threw me under the bus at the last music club because apparently I didn't drink mine fast enough, or ever happened there. So
No, Ellie's got dental surgery tomorrow morning, so I was telling her that she ought to eat and go to
dental
sleep.
surgery.
Who does?
Leslie.
Oh, does she?
Yeah, she got some dental surgery in the morning.
That's even better to be
Well,
hydrated then.
That's what I
Pizza
say.
pops in a blender is fantastic. I'm not gonna lie. Pizza pops in a blender, LA. I'm
No.
telling you.
I made some really good food last night. I made some Brussels sprouts and carrots, fried up in balsamic vinegar, honey, maple syrup, cayenne peppers, make it a little bit of hot, and a whole bunch of
Sounds
other
tasty.
stuff in there. And I fried that up. And what did we have with that? I can't remember now. Oh, we had sausages. We had moose sausages. I had some moose sausages.
Moose.
Put that in your moose. Put that in the oven, and we had moose sausages and this stuff. So she has really good leftovers tonight.
No,
So I told her
awesome.
to pig out, go to sleep, have some whiskey, hydrate yourself, go to sleep.
Cliffy,
Mm.
your food is a love language. Your cooking is a love language, which you admitted.
I would guess, yeah.
Cliffy, what would you put in a pizza pop that you would make for me?
By the way,
No, I want to know.
By the
What would
way-
you put in a pizza pop
And-
to make for me?
Andrea says that she doesn't deliver. I would have to pick it up.
I think it's worth the trip to Wetaskiwin.
Maybe. That's a long ways to go get my
Go
BLT.
to Tasquin.
Go to Wetaskiwin.
I don't know what you'd add to a pizza pop. to
I
make
know
it.
what you had to
What would you put in a pizza pop if you were to make it for me, Cliffy?
flavor?
Thank you.
Sorry,
Thank you.
Paul.
We could probably,
Well, this is what I think of
Cut it
Paul. He's so
open.
goddamn stale.
we
I'm
could
not going to put any flavor in it. It's going to be like week-old bread.
We go bread.
look at Jeremy. The only thing that can go to a pizza pop, Polly, disappointment.
Disappointment.
Okay, but
Oh, and
What-
tears,
what-
Jeremy, and tears.
okay,
Okay.
what's your favorite flavor right now? When you buy a pizza pop, what are you buying?
My pizza pop is pepperoni and green pepper.
Green peppers. I tell you what,
deluxe,
Paulie.
deluxe.
I tell you, here's
Also
what I
known
would
as
do.
deluxe.
Here's what I would do. I would take that pizza pop. I would take the filling out of it.
Yep.
Okay. I would fry some onions in ghee, which is clarified butter.
Yes.
I would fry some onions in there, add some green onions in
Yes.
there, and then I would take little tiny little bits of carrot, very, very, very tiny little bits
Okay.
of green cabbage,
I'm feeling it. It's in the back of my throat.
of green
now. Go
cabbage,
ahead.
and I would fry that with the chili.
What do you
Fry-
get with the outer part?
No, fry that with the onions and
Mhm.
everything else,
Mhm.
and add a little bit of cayenne in there, a little bit of tarragon in
Mhm.
there, fry it all up, and then put the innards of the pizza pop in there until it gets nice and hot.
Mhm.
Put it all together, put it back in the
Wrap
pizza
it
pop,
back up.
Yep.
wrap it back up,
Yep.
and then I would take some coconut oil.
Yep.
And then I would fry either side, the outside, either side of the pizza pop.
Mhm, mhm,
I would fry it, almost deep fry it in the pan,
mhm, mhm,
and
mhm.
add some of my favorite salt to it, and then I give you that.
Yeah.
Okay, so you heard it here first. That's Cliffy's pizza pop for me. This is Cliffy loves me.
Mike,
Did you
Mike,
hear that? Cliffy loves me.
Mike says cars cost less than Wetaskiwin. Nicole said I would put pizza dip or pulled pork or
Pulled pork, there you go.
That would be good. Or cheesesteak calzone.
Calzone.
Oh, I love a
Oh,
good
yeah.
calzone. I love a good calzone.
I mean, really, a good calzone or a very nice panini, no? we like paninis. Yeah.
Jeremy, let's be honest. The only thing actually inside a pizza pop is lava.
Lava.
There's no safe way to eat one of those. Your mouth turns
Turn-
in.
Into Pompeii.
And burn the top of your eye.
Burn
Yeah.
I know.
I've never been there, Jeremy.
Yeah,
Never,
ever been there.
Ever have I been there. Yeah.
Yeah.
But Paulie, that I tell you what, if you took a pizza pop out and you did that, it would be like really savory.
You could
Oh,
also
it sounds amazing because I actually thinking about it. Funny story, just off topic. Jeremy says, lava and pizza pops. I actually did this. I remember 10 years ago. Had a pizza pop one day, and I actually did go to the dentist the next day, and she actually did make a comment. She said, "Oh wow, you really burnt the roof of your mouth." Honestly,
I've done it.
about 10,
Been
12
there,
years ago it
been there.
happened. Yeah. So Jeremy, point is taken because it's happened.
You could also take your pizza pop and turn it into something more of a sweet item by taking that filling out and refilling it with maybe like an apple pie filling, or
Something
like
sad,
that, and then
nice
maybe add a little
filling,
bit over the top so it's sweet and savory. There you go. Go home and try that.
Bill loves me too.
Go home and try that.
Mm.
And Paulie, to be honest with you, that's one of my pet peeves of pizza pops is that the dough doesn't like the ratio of dough to filling,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I
It's
never
not.
thought we'd be talking about the ratio of dough to
No, but
filling
the
on
ratio-
pizza pops on
The
the show.
ratio of dough to filling is about 2-to-1 filling to dough. Give or take. Give or take.
Yeah, but the dough doesn't have any real flavor. It's all the filling.
It's cardboard.
So in my mind,
It's cardboard.
if a person did what I'm saying, and then you take the dough and you fry it on either side and cook it
Yeah,
all in that
yeah,
wonderful salt
yeah,
that
yeah.
I like, all of a sudden now we're going to add a lot of savory flavors.
You can
I
throw a
agree.
pizza pop on a barbecue.
I think you could.
I think
too.
you can.
Oh, that would be really good.
Yeah, I think you can.
And
I
dip it
think-
up.
I think we need to come up with different recipes for pizza pops.
Okay, hang on.
Oh, Batista's calzones. I've been there.
I think
Have
I've
you
been
been
there.
It's
I
fantastic.
think I have been there as well.
And I love calzones, man.
I do. I really like a good calzone as well.
I'm a calzone guy.
Are you a calzone guy?
Mhm.
You guys like donairs?
I love
Oh,
Isn't it good?
come
A nice big
on.
donair with.
Love
Aren't they good?
Come on.
And you know what? It's funny because if you eat it with nobody around, you can just scarf it down,
Yeah.
man.
Make a lot of
You
noise.
are
Make a lot of
full.
noise and get all messy.
Like
and the
you
donair
are
sauce.
full. That stuff is filling. I love it. I
Yeah,
love
there was. I can't remember the place now, what the name of it was, but there was a place in Leduc. I remember. I used to, if I was like ultra hungry,
Mhm.
I'm like, I'm just gonna wait. I'm gonna wait until I can
Cosmos.
get.
Cosmos?
No,
Nope.
no, it's not. I'm like, I'm gonna wait until I can get that freaking donair because if I was really hungry,
Mm.
I would get that donair. I put a freaking bib on,
And just go
And
at
just-
it.
and
Yeah.
you just go at it. It's like so good.
By the way, the best donair pizza from Nietzsche's Pizza.
Oh, donair.
Yes.
So good,
Hey,
you guys.
listen,
Highly recommend it.
Leslie and I order that all the time.
So
Yeah,
good.
It's great.
Don't
And it's got to be from Nietzsche's.
donair meat,
Yep.
donair meat and sauce.
Yep.
Yes.
And then if you put fresh tomatoes on there,
Yeah.
have you done that, Paulie?
I have not done that.
Dude, fresh
not done
tomatoes on donair meat and sauce,
Mm.
it's delicious. And
I've not done that.
especially
Yeah.
if you like salt, if you take those fresh tomatoes
Mm-hmm.
and you add
Mhm.
my salt, that red salt that I like so much,
Yeah.
add a little bit of that on there.
It's good.
I'm hungry now. I'm
Oh,
hungry.
Jeremy
now.
said, here's the trick. You eat the first one at surface temperature of the sun and you eat the second one frozen.
Surface temperature in the sun.
And then Nicole said, you all should go on.
Saturday.
And Mike
We
does
were
Mike,
almost done, Nicole. We had 20 minutes to go.
Mike
Nicole.
says donairs are gross, sweating heat on a spit all day long, multiple days. What's it's a meat sweats.
Mike, I love them.
you
Meat
have
sweats.
not had your meat on a spit quite like I have.
You've
I
never
love
had
it.
your sweaty meat.
I love it.
You've never had your
I
sweaty
love it.
meat. on a
Yeah,
spit.
you haven't had your sweaty meat on a stick.
Love it. Oh my gosh.
Oh,
Paul loves
man.
his sweaty meat on
Oh,
a stick.
hey.
Sweaty meat on a stick is good.
I'll eat any man's sweaty stick meat.
And Nicole says Zambelli's. Yeah, Zambelli's in the Duke is awesome, actually, to be honest with you.
Yeah, pizzas from Nietzsche is absolutely.
Yeah, Neat
it's
Nita
really good.
Pizza is excellent. Leslie and I, we order almost exclusively from Nita
Which one?
Pizza.
Which one? Oh, Nietzsche's. Yes, yes, yes. Yeah.
Leduc's Nita Pizza they have great pizza, and we always order. My wife and I, we like the what do you call the ham and pineapple.
Mhm.
Sometimes add pepperoni, and then the
Oh, so you do like pineapple on a pizza?
Oh yeah,
I love pineapple on pizza.
Me
That
too.
would probably be a big debate
A
here.
big
I'm
debate,
assuming,
yeah.
But
and then
Pineapple on a pizza, yes or no?
Yeah.
and then doner meat and sauce with fresh tomatoes and salt. Oh my God, heaven!
Mm.
I'm hungry now.
Swiss Domino's donair.
Never
I'm,
had
in,
them.
I'm in the yes camp for pineapple on pizza.
Oh good.
I'm in the yes camp.
Yeah.
Oh, Nicole says Swiss doner, 144th Avenue and 82nd Street. It's a long way north, but I'd go for a good doner.
That's a long way north. And it's funny because I've got a donair shop 30 seconds out my front door. It's not great.
no, that's the problem.
It's
They have
not
to be good.
great. I mean,
Yeah.
it's still donair, so it can't be really that. It's like bad pizza. It's still pizza.
Hey, I'm gonna have to remember that. Can you Swiss doner, 144th Avenue and 82nd? I need to remember that, Nicole. I have a friend living up close to that area. I would love to go for donairs with her.
Oh, Mike's back. He
Mike's
doesn't
back.
like his stick-
Pineapple should never
meat on a
be on
stick.
pizza.
He's dry
See?
meat on a
Mike,
stick. and he
come
doesn't
on, man. You haven't lived.
Mike,
Come on.
you know those 3,500 points we gave you?
Yeah, we're
Give
taking
it
them away
back.
right
Give
now.
it back.
Give those back to us.
I'm taking a couple points off for every piece of pineapple that I have had on my pizza.
No, Laura, wouldn't it be amazing if there was no Saturday comment on the podcast, Nicole? Wouldn't it be amazing surprise like the South Park? Where
Well,
they
it didn't
wouldn't tell
happen
Canada?
tonight. Now it did it.
You had 20 minutes, Nicole. That's all you had. Just 20 minutes left. Oh.
That's awesome, Nicole.
Yeah.
My favorite donair is Basha. Yeah, I've got a Basha
Oh,
on the south side, I
that's
think.
the donair place. Mike, who
Basha?
said that?
Who said that?
Jeremy did. I think I've got one on
Jeremy.
the south side.
That's the place I was thinking about.
Yeah.
Is there one in Leduc?
Yeah, it is. But
Oh.
that's the one I'm thinking about. But I know,
Where's it located?
I do not partake. You are 100% right, and I'll tell that story sometime, but not tonight.
Jeremy, where's it located?
Leduc. There's one in Leduc.
Is there one in Leduc? There's one in the south
So I
side
got
of
to go all the
Edmonton.
way
I
to
can't
LA
think
to
where
get
it
a
is.
donair.
LA, yeah, well.
That's right.
But Basha donors are pretty damn good.
Cosmic Donair by Oxford.
Oxford. Where's Oxford?
Yeah, I don't know where
I'm not
Oxford
sure.
is.
I don't know where Oxford is,
What?
Laura.
Okay, now you're negative 3,500
Mike.
points. So if you come on next week, you ain't getting any points.
Mike, could you do me
Our
a
next
favor?
show.
Could you tell me how you really feel about pineapple? Mike? Could you just, Mike, don't just let it go, Mike. Let it go.
Yeah, let it go. Let
Let it go. 50th Street, Leduc, just north of 51 Avenue. There you go. Basha Donut. Basha Donut.
And just offhand, Mike, pineapple's my favorite fruit. It's my favorite. I absolutely love it.
Oh, I love pineapple.
I love pineapple. It's my favorite fruit.
My favorite fruit, though, is something you don't get here, and it's got a very unique and very acquired taste. You don't get it here, but it's actually jackfruit.
There you go. There's what Jeremy has to say
You
about
like
pineapple.
jackfruit?
I
hey?
love jackfruit.
I could not. I can't get into it.
Pineapple is Jeremy, pineapple is a bromeliad. It has enzymes that digest while you digest it. Absolutely right. Absolutamente.
Mm.
Jeremy bought me a pineapple plant. I'm actually growing one in my house right now.
A pineapple?
Yeah,
You
Jeremy.
put it on
Is
your
that true?
pizza when it's
Jeremy
done?
bought me one.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Wow.
give it to Mike when it's ready.
We're coming over to Mike's house with a pizza.
We're coming over.
Cut some pineapple on it.
That's
We're going to bring a
Mike.
meat stick.
Mike,
We're
you
going to go to
just
the,
lost
we're
a
gonna
whole
go to,
bunch of points, but you gained a pineapple tree.
we're going to go to
Mike.
the donair shop and we're bringing one of
That's
those big meat sticks with us.
You
We're gonna
lost some.
carry-
Oh, meat
carry-
sticks.
I'm gonna bring the pineapple and the
Meat
sweaty
sticks and
meat sticks over to
pineapple.
Mike's house.
You know what we're even going to do? We're going to take the pineapple and we're going to put it on the meat stick.
And we're gonna do it. No, no.
Call that a good.
Saturday.
You call that a good old fashioned shish kebab.
A sister Bob? What?
Shish.
Oh, a shish.
kebab.
Yeah.
Is that like anything to do with a shiksa
Kebab.
goddess? Okay, so Mike says I have a poster on my desk that has a woman tied to a stake on a fire.
Mike.
And she's saying pineapple on pizza is delicious, and the crowd are calling her a witch. Oh my god, that's crazy.
Laura loves pineapple on her pizza. Well, that's good.
Just pineapple pizza. So
Oh, I've never had that.
Not ham.
I've not had that.
Laura says just not ham and pineapple pizza. So pineapple and cheese. She just
Okay,
said.
but
That's
pepperoni.
interesting. I've never tried that.
Okay,
Yeah.
but ham and pineapple with mushrooms. Oh,
That's really good.
mm.
Yeah. Nicole, pineapple goes in everything. Don't worry, I hide things sometimes.
That's awesome, Nicole. Yeah, see, these are the things, right? My wife have an ongoing thing about, what do you call, cucumbers for one, and watermelon. She hates those things, so I hide those.
She doesn't like watermelon or cucumber.
I'm not a watermelon guy either. Can't stand it.
I don't mind
Can't
watermelon
stand it.
once
I
in a
love
while.
watermelon.
I like a good cucumber sandwich.
Oh, I love them.
A little
My
bit-
mother-
a little bit of seasoning. and-
My mother, God
Yeah.
rest her soul, used to make cucumber sandwiches for me. She'd make cucumber sandwiches with all
Jeremy.
kinds of stuff. Oh my god.
Jeremy.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, you can.
Can you put
Yes, you
ham on
can.
your pineapple pizza?
Yes, you can.
And mushrooms, Jeremy.
Matt, got to add some mushrooms. That's good. Yeah.
Love it.
Nothing like a good boy.
And Mandy's got mango pizza. What?
No, she's saying mangoes are yummy.
Oh yeah, mangoes. are good.
Mangoes are yummy.
But Paulie, you couldn't do jackfruit, eh?
Can't get into it, buddy.
It's a very strange taste.
Yeah,
It's a strange
can't get
flavor.
into it. I lived in Asia
Okay,
for a
yeah.
while, so I've had my fair share of jackfruit.
Yeah.
and
Can't,
no,
yeah.
not a fan.
It is definitely, if you haven't tasted, don't buy one because you might not like it. It's definitely an acquired taste. But if you take a fresh jackfruit and you cut it open and you actually have this, oh my god, it's heaven. I love it.
Can't do it. You know what my daughter loves? Lychee, buddy. She loves
Lychee. I love lychee.
She and I like lychee. My daughter loves.
I-
loves lychee.
I tell you what, lychee from Israel. Okay,
Mhm.
fresh lychee from Israel.
Mhm.
It comes to Costco every now and then.
Mhm.
You will not get a better tasting fruit than that. It is the most amazing. It's like, I don't know how to explain it. It's the most amazing fruit.
Mm.
Yeah, lychee, rambutan is good. Lychee's good.
Mm.
Do you like dragon fruit?
No, can't get into
Can't do
it.
dragon fruit,
Can't
eh?
get
I
into
don't
it.
drag my fruit around.
You don't
I
drag
haven't
it-
tried
I can't get into it. Jackfruit, dragon fruit, can't get into it.
Yeah.
I prefer dragon fruit to jackfruit.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I still can't get into dragon fruit.
Oh, I love jackfruit.
No.
I love dragon fruit. And where Jeremy just said, those from Asia, you must like mangosteen. You like mangosteen, Paulie?
Where's Jeremy's mangosteen?
Mangosteen is awesome. Yeah, mangosteen
What
is
is
awesome.
mangosteen?
Oh, it's a beauty. No, Mangosteen's a whole different fruit.
I'd never heard of it.
Oh, it's a thing of
Nope.
beauty. It's a
Nope,
thing of
never
beauty.
heard of it.
All over Asia.
What about avocado?
Never heard of it,
Avocado's
buddy.
wonderful.
Nope.
You like
Sorry,
avocado?
Jeremy.
I like avocado.
I love avocado.
Oh, I love avocado. Avocado and lime.
Avocado
Lime juice.
with nice salt, with the good salt and a little bit of lime. Oh, it's heaven.
William, I like cutting up cucumbers and tomatoes with balsamic vinegar and red wine vinegar with olive oil and a sprinkle of spaghetti. Oh, wow.
I'm
That
down.
sounds
That
good.
sounds great, my friend.
I'm down.
That sounds great, William.
Yeah, I'm down. Put a little feta cheese in there, and you got
And
me.
feta, yeah.
Oh, you got
See,
me.
Andrea's got it. She says dragon fruit is too good. It's so good.
Can't do it.
Love dragon fruit. It's so good for you. It's actually a
I
cactus.
didn't realize that dragons were still around. I
Yeah,
don't know how you get their fruit.
This is the fruit
but
of the dragon.
the fruit of the
how do
dragon.
you get the fruit of the dragon?
You've heard the head of the dog. This is the fruit of the dragon.
Wow.
Well, if we weren't thinking about tequila before, we are now, Jeremy.
I think we're thinking about now, buddy.
We are now.
Salt and lime. Oh,
yeah.
man. I tell you what, you got a good tequila with salt and lime. It is heaven. I love it. And you know what the best part is, Jeremy? Tequila has no calories. It has nothing. So if you're on a fast, you can drink yourself shit-faced.
That's a great way to stay hydrated. Let's hear it.
That's good hydration.
That's good hydration right there. And the lime keeps the electrolytes on, and the salt and lime keeps the electrolytes up. So
Never
Mhm.
thought about that. Should do that on the treadmill.
You can substitute feta for what's that cheese? Bocan. What's that cheese? Bocconcini.
oh yeah.
Bocconcini.
How the hell do you say that?
William, help me with this. Not you can
What?
substitute feta for it's bocconcini or something like that. Cheese.
Bocconcini?
Yeah. What's
He
that?
says he doesn't care for feta.
Oh,
I mean, hey, listen, Willie, we're not asking you to marry it, buddy.
what the hell's that other cheese?
Bocconcini. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I know the one you're talking. I can't think of
So
it.
good. So
Yeah.
you can substitute feta for that.
Okay, Andrew's just throwing out all the good fruits now.
Yeah.
She's like raspberries and green grapes. You're just making me hungry.
Yeah.
You're making me hungry.
You tried tequila for the first time a few weeks ago. They were doing samples at the liquor
And
store.
did you have it with lime and salt, though, Jeremy?
I probably didn't have that for a sample.
Wait, time out. Jeremy, you tried tequila for the first time a few weeks ago.
Wow.
Okay.
So now he's never going to stop drinking it.
So
No.
my question then: did you have good tequila? Was it top of the line?
As they
Is
say
there
in
a
Scotland, did it have a worm?
Probably the only reason he's mentioning it. He's probably at home having tequila right now.
tequila
That's
right
it.
now.
I know where you live, Jeremy.
Goat cheese on pizza is delicious.
It is. Goat cheese on pizza is very good.
Oh, love
Yeah.
goat cheese. Love goat cheese.
You put the lime in the coke and you shake it all up.
Yeah,
And if you do it on a weekend, it would be the first day of the weekend.
that would be.
Saturday!
Jeremy says 42 years old, and it was delicious enough that I bought a bottle. At 42 years old, just trying. Well,
Okay, hey,
good on
Jeremy,
you. Good on
have you opened the bottle? I mean,
Are you doing some shots right now?
I know where you live.
It
I'll
is
bring this-
It is Bocconcini.
Hey.
Thank you,
Bocconcini.
Nicole.
I'll bring the best salt, buddy.
What is your salt of choice?
Red.
Yeah, red? You had that.
Red
Yeah.
Himalayan.
No.
Real salt. Redmond's real salt
Redmond's
from
real
Utah.
salt.
Yeah,
we
you told me
tried
about
that.
I just
I
couldn't
made you
remember
guys
what
drink
it's
for
Yeah,
that.
we had
called.
it
Yeah,
with
I
that-
couldn't
that
remember what it's
drink.
called.
Not
Yeah.
Redmond's real salt.
Yeah,
Nicole.
yeah. Hey, we gave you some extra ones tonight, Nicole.
Exactly. Only because you never asked, like you didn't
Mm.
pressure us.
Mm.
Andrea, so important to eat simple
Bring
foods.
the
Good for-
land
absolutely,
and
Andrea.
salt.
Absolutely. Very good for the brain.
What's sorry? Where are we? What's good for the brain?
Good.
Besides the
food,
Podlie podcast?
simple foods.
foods.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And guess what else is good for the brain, Andrea, that they're only figuring out now that we've been told not to do since the bloody 40s or 50s, whatever it was, is fat. Your brain cannot function without
Without it.
cholesterol.
Without it,
You need cholesterol. Your brain runs on cholesterol.
it's true.
And I tell you what, the lack of cholesterol is causing dementia on high, what do you call early onset dementia in a great amount of the population. So everybody, make sure your dietary cholesterol is good, and make sure you don't start statins only because you got 1.1 cholesterol or something. That's right, Jeremy.
What's myelin?
Is made of cholesterol. What is that?
What is it? What's myelin?
Jeremy, I'm not sure what that is.
Uh,
Oh, the actual 7% of your
Oh,
brain. Yeah,
okay.
exactly. It's made of cholesterol. But this is the thing, though, right? Since the 40s, they've been saying, oh, yeah, you don't want cholesterol. You want to keep your cholesterol down, cholesterol down, cholesterol down. Meanwhile, all brain diseases have gone up significantly all right, significantly based on the lack of cholesterol. And I tell you what, the food groups, blah, 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 the chart and everything else, man, they're lying to us. I can't believe it. Blows my mind. Anyway, that's a whole different topic. I think we've discussed it in the past. But the
Just
fact,
eat pizza pops, you guys will be all right.
yeah, but the healthy fats, indeed, Andrea. But I think what people think are healthy fats are not really true. Okay, people think red meat is bad for you. It's not.
Oh,
Okay, there's been study after bloody study that red meat is not bad.
I love
for
a good steak.
you. Right? And it's one of the most anti-inflammatory.
Rare, medium.
Oh, I
rare,
love it. Oh,
rare
yeah.
to medium rare.
Oh yeah, and it's one of the most.
I am a rare to medium rare
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah,
And it's one of the most anti-inflammatory
I want
foods
blood on my
around. Oh yeah,
That's the way I
I
eat
want
it.
that middle.
I
tone.
actually,
when
I've had
somebody
blue
says,
rare.
"I want my steak and I want it well done,"
Yeah.
I'm thinking, "Well, here's my shoe."
Here's
There's your
the shoe,
shoe.
take
There's your
this.
soul. That's, I've actually had blue rare steak.
Have you? Yeah, me
Have you
too.
had blue rare?
Ah,
Yeah, me too.
mm.
Yeah, I've actually cooked blue rare steak when I was a
I
cook.
prefer a rare, but I've had blue rare and I like it almost as much as
I couldn't do blue rare very often.
No,
Yeah, I prefer to be rare. I've had blue rare too, but I
Yeah.
prefer to be more begin the rare, medium rare.
I'm the same.
Yeah,
I'm the
yeah.
same.
My problem with that, to be honest with you, is more the fact that the meat is cold. I can't. I'm a hot food person,
Mhm.
so blue rare, this very center of the
It's
steak,
cold.
is cold.
It's cold.
I
inside.
can't do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So that's why. So even that's
Yep.
why I'll actually move a little bit more towards the medium rare versus rare,
Mm.
only because I cannot do cold food.
Yeah.
Hot food is my
All the
deal.
way through.
Yeah.
Hot. Yeah.
Hot food is my deal.
What is Chicago style
Deep dish.
steak?
Okay.
That's pizza.
steak.
That's pizza.
Steak.
Chicago style steak.
Oh, I don't know what that
analysis.
is.
What is that?
Is that reverse searing?
That's a good question. I just realized I'm going to be in Vegas this weekend, so might be a good time to see if I
Try
can
it.
find a good steak spot.
Yeah. So Jeremy says myelin is the sheath of the neurons. You know, Jeremy, now that you mentioned it, dude, I did know about that. I did read about it. It just didn't click in the middle of everything. But yeah,
Did you hear that?
All right.
Jeremy called us neurons.
neurons.
Wow, we got to look at the clock here.
Holy smack. Look at you. Hey, listen, you guys. Started out slow. It's been a fun discussion. It's been a fun chat. We didn't have anything to talk about, so we just decided to come on here and babble away, which we did. Happy to have everybody on the broadcast tonight. Thank you for your engagement and all that sort of stuff. This podcast is no fun without you guys. So thank you very much for your engagement. And if you have not, but for some odd reason you're watching it later, Mr. Bill.
Tune in to YouTube, Facebook, rewatch it there with all the comments. Go back and binge watch if you haven't seen some episodes in the past. Sound Sugar Radio Friday nights, 10 o'clock. And by the way, next week I don't think we'll be here because
you're right.
I'm away on the Monday, but we'll be back after that because we got to get to 193, then 94 as we work our way toward 200. But we'll get things figured out. We'll also get our
Might take
Christmas
6
show.
months, folks, but we'll get there.
Yeah, we'll get there.
We'll also get our Christmas show figured out as well.
Oh, yeah, that's right. If you have any ideas, let us know.
Yeah, we got to get that organized and figured out for sure. So, all right, everybody. Well, on that note, I'm pressing wrong buttons here, but on that note, there we go.
Stay happy.
Stay happy, everybody.
Have a great week, everybody.
Ciao.